Pardon my excitement, but at 2:30 p.m. today, the corpse flower at the New York Botanic Garden finally started blooming. Here's why it's so special, what it means, and what you need to do if you want to see it in person. This specific plant at the New York Botanic Garden is more properly known as Amorphophallus titanum, the largest of the Amorphophallus, the other notable Amorphophallus being Amorphophallus gigas, which has a slightly smaller structure, and the Brooklyn Botanic Garden has one of those that bloomed earlier this year. Both of the Amorphophallus are part of a larger group of plants known as corpse flowers, which produce incredibly pungent odors to attract pollinators, carrion flies, which happen to be attracted to the smell of rotting corpses or Limburger cheese. This smell is produced by the odorants dimethyl disulfide and dimethyl trisulfide. The odor of this plant is so strong, it can be detectable up to a half-mile away in some cases, thanks in part to a process known as thermogenesis, where the central spike or spadix of this plant heats up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which helps waft the odor further and attract more pollinators. And these processes and these strong odors have to happen because the bloom of this plant only lasts maximum 72 hours, usually shorter than that. That means that you, a human, only have the end of today, tomorrow, and maybe the next day to see this flower in bloom and smell it for yourself. And these blooms are so special because when you plant this flower, it takes up to 10 years for the first bloom to take place, and then it starts entering this leafing and flowering cycle where at some point between 3 and 7 years, it might bloom, but no one knows when it's going to happen, and it only becomes apparent that a bloom might be taking place right before it starts. And that specific flower is blooming for maybe 2 days, and then that's it for another 3 to 7 years. So the New York Botanic Garden is open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Your best shot at getting the best smell of this plant is tomorrow. They have parking at the Botanic Garden for a fee, and it might fill up. It's also accessible via transit and city bike. Although if I'm being real, if you're not used to city biking in the Bronx, maybe don't do that one. Although New York City residents and Bronx residents specifically get grounds access to the New York Botanic Gardens depending on the day of the week, this does not include indoor exhibits, so you will have to purchase a day pass or a membership, which start at $35 for the days that this flower will be in bloom. To stay up to date on the status of this bloom, make sure you're following the New York Botanic Garden on all of their socials because they will post about it, and also they have a live stream of the bloom if you're not able to make it in person.